for Real Talk Radio. You're listening to the National Intel Report with your host, John Stadtmiller.
All right, folks, we are back in New England. What part of New England, Henry, are you calling from?
Well, hello. Yeah, Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Okay. All right, now this is a question for Chapman. All right, two things I want to clarify. One, did I hear today, because I sort of tuned in the show when you started talking about the gun thing, did I hear today that gold went down to $860? Or is that wrong?
No, $890.
Oh, $890, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. One time it was $860, no?
No.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I'll move on. All right, a question for Chapman. This has to do with the Swiss banks and the Swiss privacy laws and stuff like that. And to what degree, because I know they would the government make this quick, the government went after, the Swiss banks and put pressure on Switzerland. Meanwhile, I don't hear any pressure they're putting on Israel with the money that Madoff made off with everybody else's money, Madoff, whatever, who made off with, $50 billion or whatever.
Yeah.
To what extent has changed? Now, let's say if I open a Swiss account or an account, and by the way, what is the difference, the advantage, let's say, of a bank account on the Island of Man or Liechtenstein, the Island of Man or Luxembourg, not Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, compared to Switzerland or because I understand they've made some changes, and are the Swiss mad about this?
Well, the offshore accounts are relatively the same from place to place.
Okay.
And the United States government, as well as the European governments, have been demanding that Luxembourg and Austria and Switzerland, Andorra, in that venue, and then you have Jersey, Guernsey, and the Isle of Man, and then you got the players in the Caribbean, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, Uruguay, and they're all doing relatively the same thing. They have secrecy in banking. And what's interesting here is not only the fact that nobody talks about the money going to Israel off that criminal caper, but they don't talk about the fact that it's legal for American corporations to make earnings offshore and keep them in an offshore locale and not pay taxes.
Oh, but
now, 4 years ago,
right.
the government, the Congress passed legislation based upon the fact that these transnational conglomerates would create jobs in the United States, and they allowed them to bring in $350 billion into the United States without paying 33% taxation. They paid 5.25%. They're even talking about doing that again. This time they're talking in terms of 500 to 600 billion. Now, why is it okay for corporations to evade taxes, and it's not okay for the public? Now, the reason that the United States government and Europe is pursuing these, we'll call them offshore locations, is that they want the tax money. And they figure the people who have accounts in these jurisdictions are evading taxes, and some may and some may not.
Yeah, who cares?
But they want the money, and they want control of the assets. In the case of Switzerland, they're also looking to see who's got gold bullion, because they think some of those people have a lot of it. The Swiss have essentially rolled. They've said that the clients at UBS can be turned over to the Internal Revenue Service that they're Americans. And Credit Suisse yesterday said that they will not take any more American accounts, and they want the American accounts that are there to leave. And I've had commentary by email from subscribers who have accounts at a couple of banks and of long standing. They were called and told to move their account. And this is all coming from the U.S. government. This past week, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Uruguay rolled to the U.S. government, just like many other jurisdictions have before them, and they're going to expose any Americans who have accounts there to the U.S. IRS. So this is a move to relieve people of their freedom, whether they're doing something that is inimical to American law remains to be seen. But that's the way the United States operates, and that's the way they have operated in other spheres for many years. And it's a very bad, evil, dictatorial government.
Yeah, all right. Here's what I did find out, though, when I called the Swiss consulate. They told me, though, that if you are a legal alien of Switzerland or if you're a citizen of Switzerland, they will not and cannot turn anything over and will not at all. Now, if somebody was, let's say, American living in Switzerland and they got, legal alien status, they still, well, according to what he gave me the impression, especially if you're a Swiss citizen, they will not. Now, the other thing is this, though. How safe still is the Swiss franc? In other words, has that changed any way in the past couple of months? In other words, if still, I know possibly the euro could collapse. If I still would have money and put it in the Swiss franc, isn't that still the best currency around in Europe? Because, of course, I'm not talking about the third world here. I'm talking about Europe.
It is. And it isn't. The moves that they've taken, 20% of their business in Switzerland is in banking.
Okay.
And if they're going to lose European and American clients, and maybe even more besides that, involved in offshore banking, it's certainly going to hurt their economy. They've been monetizing corporate bonds out of their own market.
Okay.
As opposed to Swiss treasuries, of which there's not many outstanding. And I think Switzerland effectively has rolled for the U.S. and the European Illuminati. They're doing what they're told. And I think they're going to have a very rough road ahead of them. And I really would have never expected it, but it could be game over.
Yeah, all right. I'll say this and I'll go, though. You can answer this as I leave. Is it possible that the Swiss people and some other Swiss political parties, because I heard one covered here in Connecticut Post, would they be outraged about this? Because I think it's disgusting what America did. Who the hell is America to tell any European country what to do? They don't even let the people that even founded their country from Europe even come into their country. Even, I mean, you can even come to America, even legally, but they got millions of criminals and everything else illegally. So, I mean, I just said that to a guy even in Denmark a while ago, just last week. But is it possible that, have you found any information, because you do a lot of great research, that some of the Swiss people or even some political parties in Switzerland or even some government officials might be outraged at what the people at the top of the Swiss president and what he did, that they may possibly in the future seek to get elected or change what recently happened. Okay, and I'll go. Okay, great show.
Well, to answer that question, there is a party. Their percentage of the vote has been, it's a popular party, has been about 45%. And they will be enraged, and they probably are, but I haven't seen any real wailing outrage yet. And I do read the Tribune de Genève, which is French. And incidentally, it is extraordinarily difficult to get Swiss citizenship. I lived there for 3 years, incidentally. And I did go to school there as well. And you can get a permis de séjour, but they're extraordinarily difficult to get, which is a work permit, like an American green card. And it never qualifies you in any way for citizenship. So I think that's out of the question. If you're going to get citizenship, you got to go someplace else. But Switzerland is going to have economic problems that they have not had before. And the Swiss are in for a whole new life. And I'm surprised that they rolled, but that's the power of the Illuminati. And they were probably told in no uncertain terms, this is the way it's going to be, and if you don't like it, we'll destroy you.